Good evening again. Would you please join me in congratulating our two soloists for the evening. I'd like everyone to know how proud we are of the entire orchestra behind me. We really are, but it's awfully enjoyable for us to recognize a few students, as we do each year. And we have a lot of them, so thank you for your patience. So we will begin with 3 awards that we're presenting. The first 2 I'll call out. I have your certificates. You can pick them up after the concert. So I'm very pleased to acknowledge 3 students. The first is who we consider our most improved musician of the Senior Symphony this year, and that is Camille harp. You can actually go sit down. But I like your spirit. We're also honored to present our most dedicated student in the orchestra this year, who is also one of our paid student interns, who is French hornist Alice Ouellette. This is heavy. And I'm particularly honored to award I believe it's our 4th annual Maestro Jindong Student Achievement Award for the Symphony. And I believe that this gentleman, a cellist, has been in GSYO and ECYS for 10 years or more. I'm not exactly sure of the number because it's such a big number, but please join me, Mr. Noah Vin Chol. Okay, we're going to keep going. I'm now deeply honored to have 3 of our graduating seniors reminisce with some of their fondest memories of being a GSYO student. I told them in advance by email, and I have a copy of it, to keep it clean. I have reviewed everything they're going to say, so you won't go running for the exits if you hear something about the tour. But I'm very honored to, in this order, have Piyush, Shanbhag, and then Ethan Thacker, and then Lucy Yao. They will come to the stage one at a time and give you a short, I told them it should be short, memory of their time in our organization, and their 3 very special students too. So please join me on stage. Who did I say first?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Piyush, Principal Violist of the Senior Symphony. I've been a part of GSYO for 4 years. I remember just like it was yesterday. 6th grade, course selection fair, and instead of exploratory wheel or woodshop, I chose orchestra. Why orchestra? I was getting bored of my Nintendo Wii and needed a new toy to play with, before letting it collect dust on the shelf like that tennis racket, Rubik's Cube, and God knows how many Lego sets. But when I picked up the viola and learned how to turn meaningless twanging into this thing we call music, that viola was never going to be put down. Now fast forward a couple of years, and my private teacher encouraged me to audition for youth orchestras once I became an intermediate player. One of my music friends from school, Noah, shout out Noah, told me to audition for the Golden State Youth Orchestra, and so I did, and got in. And then COVID hit, boom. All-in orchestra was definitely something. You got a conductor with a buffering camera on 4 FPS, random Zoom bobbers making rehearsal impossible, and the real struggle of visualizing an entire orchestra when it's really just you and your PJs. Still, even after facing all the struggles that came with COVID, GSYO combined each individual's playing and edited it into a virtual concert. And guess what? Good music can be made after all. It was then and there that I realized that GSYO truly held something special, and I knew I was going to be a loyal member forever. And then phew, social distancing was lifted, and GSYO was back better than ever. I got to meet new people, make new friends, and most of all, play real, complex, and challenging music. But right as we were getting ready for our Europe tour, it turned out Maestro was retiring, planning to live peacefully in the quaint state of Rhode Island. Shout out Maestro Eels. We needed a new director, and GSYO actually involved us, the orchestra, in the decision-making process. Director candidates were going to have mini rehearsals with us on Tchaikovsky's Romeo and Juliet, and the orchestra filled out a survey with their opinions. Now, me personally, I've auditioned many times for Dr. Tay, but this time, Dr. Tay was going to audition for us. Many director candidates passed by, and I think everyone who was there would agree that the top choice was obvious. Dr. Tay's charisma, deep knowledge, and ability to demand respect and attention really made him stand out from the rest. Dr. Tay, you're truly special to all of us, and especially to me. I remember your first official rehearsal with us during the 22 and 23 season. You walked in, and rehearsal went on like normal. Piyush was rushing, Jason was out of tune, Gio's rhythm was off, and then it hit me. Dr. Tay had memorized every single person's name in the entire orchestra, even before his first rehearsal. Names give us value, they give us importance. And Dr. Tay wanted each member in the orchestra, regardless of where they sit, to know that they have a role, that they are important. Dr. Tay taught me that being in an orchestra is not about the individual, but the music you create by being in harmony and agreement with one another. Dr. Tay, you can also be very inspiring. I remember after a Bay Area Youth Orchestra Festival concert, wait a second. I got you. I remember after our Bay Area Youth Orchestra Festival concert, when we were unsure of our performance, when there was a faint air of inadequacy, you put your foot down and told us to hold our heads high, as it was a great performance. You told us about your vision of GSY's future, and how excellence takes time and patience, and that we were the founding class of a new legacy for GSYO. I have to admit, being a water polo team captain, that was one of the pep talks of all time. In all seriousness, you are by far my favorite conductor and music educator, and I'm sure you know that there's so many things I thank you for. You're an amazing musician, mentor, person, and most importantly, a friend. Thank you so much for everything. Seth, if I were to describe you as an animal, it would be a grizzly bear, hilarious and fun-loving, yet fiercely protective. It has been an absolute blast getting to know you throughout my time in GSYO, and I'll always be looking forward to a dad joke every time we cross paths. I've had so many opportunities to get to know you this year, and I'll cherish all the times we spent together. Lori, GSY would not be what it is today without your hard work. I want to let you know that we appreciate the fun retreat activities, potlucks, and so much more. Emily and Chandler, I want to thank you for telling the brass and woodwinds to get off their phones during rehearsal. It probably has a much bigger impact on our performances than you think. In all seriousness, thank you, and all the other GSYO staff, for all that you do to make GSYO what it is. I know this speech was long, but come on, I have to talk about tour. Tour and retreat were just the best. There were places where stand partners became friends, and a memory that stood with me from last tour was performing at the world-renowned Smetana Hall in Prague, and receiving a standing ovation from what must have been 700 people in the audience. Golden State Youth Orchestra and all the friends and connections I've made along the way are things that I will cherish forever. After all, there's a saying in the music community that music friends are friends for life. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Thacker. I'm a cellist in Golden State Youth Orchestra, and these are some recollections of my time in Golden State Youth Orchestra. When I look back on my experience with Golden State Youth Orchestra, the area where I think I've grown the most is independence. Now, this might seem odd for a youth orchestra, where the goal is to form better musicians, and while I have undoubtedly grown as a cellist since 2018, the sheer volume of change comes in my ability to be independent. I still remember my first day coming to GSYO. It was August 2018, I was 12, had no sense of self, and quite frankly relied on everyone around me to figure out things for me. But after my parents, who were dropping me off at Fletcher Middle School, left and the orchestra room filled, I understood that here I had to pull my own weight, both musically and socially. There was no one to correct me individually, at least not until sectionals rolled around, and no one would hone in on me as the person making mistakes within the section. I had to be a good musician and a good person for myself and the community around me. This sentiment continues into today, where despite the sections curated around us to make the orchestra sound good, as you've hopefully heard tonight, the collective relies in some small way on the action of the individual. Having the opportunity to go on tour also taught me about independence, not as a musician, but as a person. And did I add this section in just to make a few Enziana jokes? Maybe, but does it still connect to the rest of the speech? I hope so. Tour was a lot of firsts for me. It was my first time traveling without my parents, first time staying in a hotel in Vienna during a heat wave that didn't have AC, or ventilation, or enough outlets in a room to both charge a phone and have lights on, or more than one working elevator, and I could go on, but I will spare you the details. But it was also my first time having the opportunity to plan an itinerary for myself and my friends. What seems like a minuscule act of independence was a masterclass in problem solving, compromise, and collaboration. Even into today, I take the lessons I learned from tour with me. When there's 15 minutes until check-in with the chaperone and I'm on the opposite side of a city, I now know it's not the best idea just to aimlessly walk in their general direction. When working with others to create a fun day that we'll all enjoy, sometimes there are differing opinions. And when there are such disagreements around a course of action, I know now the best solution is discourse. These are lessons that go beyond youth orchestra. So, while the value of Golden State Youth Orchestra is in making a better musician, there is also something to be said in how GSYO forms good people, who critically think about themselves and the world around them. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the concert.
I've been playing percussion with GSYO for the past 3 years. So I already said that I made my speech really long, so please bear with me. I promise it's good, sort of. Anyway, so first off, huge thanks to Dr. Tay, Seth, Emily, Chandler, Lori, the coaches, and all of the rest of the amazing team behind GSYO for the past couple of years. None of this would have been possible without all of your hard work that you put into every concert, and especially being a percussionist. I mean, they go through all of the effort to accommodate for our crazy needs and helping us set up every single concert, and they spent a lot of trouble and money getting us random equipment that we keep breaking, so they have to buy it again. But anyway, when talking about my experience at GSYO, I guess I could mention all of the musical insight I've learned, like how there's at least 20 ways to play a triangle, who knew? Or all the friends I've made, or all the muscle I've gained lugging around percussion equipment all these years, or even tour and how I now know the top 10 crystal hunting places in Prague. But I want to talk about something a bit more specific to my experience as a percussionist. And I think it's something that you guys might all also understand. So for the past couple of years, I've had a lot of people tell me how lucky I am to be a percussionist because I don't have to sight read 254th notes or bleed out my lips for a high C to above the staff. But to make up for that, I've had to stay back hours and arrive early to set up and organize the entire line of instruments in the back that nobody really notices half the time. And yeah, but it's all part of my job, and this extra time I've realized has become my least and my most favorite part of being a percussionist and being part of GSYO. And the main reason for that is because when I arrive, the stage that you see here is all empty. It's just black. There's the same rows of chairs, the same rows of stands, but that's all it is. And it looks like nothing. But then as the rest of the orchestra files in, you see that these screeching chairs, the squeaky violin notes, the blasting brass, they flow and fit perfectly, majestically into one another, and just at the raise of a baton. And this entire orchestra is a hive mind of creativity that's bonded by the simple fact that we all have a part to play in this orchestra. And I hope you all felt that tonight already. The melodies, the ornaments, the rumbling rhythmic patterns, the swooping cascading runs, and at the end of these hours of this concert of every practice, we pack the stage away again. And I, alongside the rest of my percussionists, orchestra members, and stage crew, we're faced with a simple hollow room again. And it's the same one I'll face again tonight, but it reminds me that what I've experienced here is a rarity. And that everything here that you guys are also witnessing is a singular moment where all the circumstances line up just right into a beautiful, beautiful display. Whether that's music, joy, pain, whatever you want to call it. I think all of us recognize that this thing that we're experiencing is something that isn't going to be here forever. But I urge all of you guys to remember that at this concert, at every other concert after this too, all of these concerts are held solely in our memory. Before and afterward, it's just the same black stage. There's nothing special about this room except what we've made in these 3 hours that you are now hearing. And that's something that you and us will have to continue to carry. So thank you to GSYO for supporting all these moments and for supporting really unnecessarily long-winded dramatic speeches and for all these moments throughout these past decades, and here's to more decades to come. Thank you.
Generationally, I'm always amused that they read their phones. It's like, what happens when the phone dies? Grizzly bear. By the way, I was walking, we were on one of the tour concerts, and I was walking through the percussion section in Vienna, where we were, very quickly. And Lucy stabbed me with a piece of percussion. She didn't mean to, and I have a slight scar right in this general. So we all have a past, and so I'm very pleased to welcome to the stage our board president, Christine Kittinger, in the white, and Chun Lin Lee, our vice president. And I thank them for their leadership and for leading a wonderful board of directors, and they will hand out a rose to our kids as well as a free lanyard. I know, don't get excited. And a copy of the program that has all of their names and bios in it. So I'll welcome to the stage our seniors in alphabetical order, and we'll start with Felicia Buchholz. Next is Dave Chen. Jacqueline Chiang. Elizabeth Chin. Michael Cunningham. Hannah Fung. Chloe Gao is next. Beatrice Ho. Seiyun Huang. Rishi Iyengar. Kelvin Joe. Rebecca Coe. Nathan Levy. You're popular, Nathan. Jerry Lee. Tiffany Lynn. Claire Lynn. Tiger Nishida. Jason Park. Were those tears of joy or call the paramedics? I got distracted. Julia Peng. Matthew Kesey. And Vivian Reutens. And the student who called me an animal, Piyush Shanbhag. Zachary Spain. And we'll call him Mr. Eloquence, Ethan Thacker. Noah Vin. Abigail Wong. Justin Wang. And Ricky Rito. Lucy Yao. And last but not least, Ethan Joe. I'm missing a name, I'm sorry. Dixon Yang, 1,000 apologies. Dixon Yang. This is harder than it looks. The graduating class of GSYO 2024. Congratulations, graduates. Our version of commencement. Give us a few moments to get the orchestra ready, and thank you all very much for your patience.